Hello everyone and welcome to another video. This one is all about how to turn your old school, flat, horrible, plain doors into something cool, something traditional style with some simple beading paneling. We've got 7 doors to do, plus the back of the front door. Each door has both faces to do, front and back, 15 faces, and each face has 4 panels. So there you go, do your maths. We've got quite a few beads to do. How many panels have we got, Sean? So we've got about 240 beads to cut, okay, and each bead has 2 miters on. So we've got about 480 cuts to do, plus we've got to apply them on the door, pin and glue them on, fill them, get them ready for the decorator in just 8 hours. What we have today is a nice little setup. I would suggest setting up nicely. It just makes your life so much easier. A couple of benches. These Keta benches are great. They fold down and they take half a kilo each. We've also got a nice little Diddy chop saw. It's cordless, it's small, it's light, it's perfect for miters. Also got the correct tooth in there on the blade. Lots of teeth. Means that we're going to get a nice crisp cut. We've got the hoover over there and that's connected to the back. We've got a silent compressor here today. It's very good, this one. I've made a review of this. And the pin gun, 20mm pins. We've got a tape measure, selection of pencils, a digital level, and we've got a manual level and some straight edges. To fill in sands, we are simply using some jointing compound. It's a bit like what drywallers use. It's basically a filler. We've got a PVA glue there in a nice handy bottle. We've got a brush. When we put the filler in the joints, we can brush that out so we're not doing a lot of sanding right at the end, or none at all. We've also got this cool little air duster here with a spare battery. I'm going to show you this because this is awesome. I've only just got it. It's a bit like a little mini Dyson. I'm going to show you why we're going to use that in just a bit, but it's going to come in really, really handy today. This is the first door, bathroom door. It's quite small. Kitchen door, living room door, set up. Bedroom door. Another living space door or a bedroom door, head up again. And we've got 2 more bedroom doors, all flat, got 3 sizes, but hopefully we're going to get those sizes down to 1 or 2 so we don't have to cut so many beads. These are the beads that we are using today. There's the profile for you. Panel mold TM977. They're 21 by 8 by 2.4. We've got 70 there, so that should be plenty, giving us 1 or 2 spare. Make sure you have enough because you will have waste. So the first thing you're going to need to do is work out your margins. We are going to go for a 100mm margin at the top. We're going to go for around a 200mm margin at the bottom. And the same, a 200mm margin at the bottom. 100, 100, 100. So there are margins. We then just need to decide the lengths of the top and the bottom panel. So let's go over the steps. First, I would say use a big square like this. This is a roofing square, just to check the squareness of your door at the top. Hopefully they're all square, because we're going to come off the top with our measurements and the side. So yeah, I didn't add that to the list that you may need. So most of the doors, the handles are in the same place in relation to the height. So what we're doing is just making the 200mm margin in the middle roughly in line with the door handle. So our panel size is going to stop around here and then it's going to start around here. So that means I know I can take off the 100mm margin from the top of the door, measure all the way down to where I want it to stop, and that is my top panel size. So basically what we've got is we've got 990 from the top of the door to where the handle starts. And then we are taking off 100mm, 890 from there to there. We know this door is 1985. We're going to then take away 100, 890, 200, 200, and whatever we've got left over, that is that panel size. To get the width of the panels, we're simply going to take away 100, 100, 100, 300 in total off of 825, and that leaves us a number, and then we're going to divide it by 2 because we've got 2 panels, and that gives us the width of the panels. So now we need to mark on all our measurements. We're going to strike those lines to be able to get a straight edge up against our lines and draw them all in. The reason why squaring the door, checking for square, was a good idea is because we are coming from the top of the door as our reference point on this occasion and the side. So we're just going to mark on our 100mm line and a 100mm line, okay, and then we can come down our measurement of 890, and then we can come down another 200, and then we can come down 595, and that is all our measurements. And then we'll do it again on this side. Then we have those lines. Then we can go ahead on the side of the door, mark 100, 262.5, 100, 262.5, and that will give us 100, Do that at the bottom of the door. And then we have all our crosshairs to be able to get a straight edge. Let me go over and show you all the lines that I've got, and we can draw those in to give us a visual aid of where we're going to glue and pin our beads onto. We look in the corner here of the door, top left corner of the door, that is the corner there. We've got a left-hand line, that is 100mm, and then we've got 100mm down. Coming across here to the center of the door, we've got the width, we've got a 100mm border that's going to come down. And on the side, we've got the corner. So now we've got all the marks transferred. We're going to go ahead and do that for all doors. Remember, we've got 3 different sizes here, so there's a bit more complexity. I'm simply going to get my straight edge and go ahead and connect all those lines up, like so. You don't need to draw across the whole door, just where your panels will be. Line it up with our bottom pencil line, and move this over to match the top pencil line, and draw it in. We now have our 4 panels drawn in, albeit very light, but it's enough to be able to pin on our beads to and have a reference point. The next thing to do is cut up all your beads, leaving them at least 20mm long in length. Cutting is all done now to get them all to length, and this is what 240 beads looks like. And what we're going to do is mitre one end of every single bead. So we're going to be cutting one end, like I mentioned first, on every single bead. And we're just going to go for the same end, whether it's the right or left. But just remember, if we are going for the easy one first, which is this one, we're going to put that there and we're going to cut our mitre like so. Then when it comes to cutting this mitre, the mitre's the wrong way round. It needs to be that way. So we are then going to have to somehow figure out how to cut this upside down. If we cut it upside down and I rested it on, it wobbles. So what we can do is get the same bead, an offcut, and we can just drop it on top and just make sure it looks completely parallel to each other. It should do if it's the same beading. You can use that to keep it square and not to tip around on you, because if I took that off and I tried to cut the mitre, it's going to throw it off as you chop it down. It needs to be completely square, not like this or not like this. Otherwise, when you cut your mitre, it's going to be off. So I've put the lines there for you to visualize the angles that need to be cut, and I've also transferred it onto the back, and that is the angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the hardest end first, as in the least easy side, okay, which is going to be this side, my left hand side. So what I can do is I can just put my bead up against the fence like so, and then obviously we've got that to drop in, and then I can just do all my cuts like so. Can you see the mitre there, Sean? Yeah, so that is keeping it square, but I'd rather do the harder cut first on all of them, which means when it comes to getting my bead and placing it up against my door and making sure they're right, or taking my final measurements and doing the final cut, I'm not having to faff around by doing it on the bead. You get me? We're going to leave the easy one till last. All the single mitres are done now, all on the left. As you can see, we've got packs of them dotted around. We need to do the return mitre now. We've put on a fence on our choppy here, clamped it on, cut that down. So effectively, when we go and put a bead on, it's going to follow that mitre, but we're not going to be really using that. We are just going to be putting marks on our fence. So now with a 187 line marked on our fence, we could just put that bead on. We'll line up the tip of our first mitre up against that, and then that is our cut. Our saw is going to follow that mitre there, and we should have a 187 cut, perfectly cut. We just took the fence off to mark it. It was easier to mark them flat, and we've got every measurement on there now. And it took a couple of minutes, clamped it back on. It's in the right position now. Sean can just go and crack on. He's going to do one set for this door so I can start pinning, gluing and pinning. Otherwise, if he just does a random one for here and another random one for there, then I can't get on with finishing a door off. Dust sheet down, air compressor on. This is a godsend. It's so quiet compared to the old Stanley ones. God, you can't even hear it. Anyway, we've got our pin gun ready to go. We've got 20mm pins in there, as I mentioned before. I'm going to start pinning these on. Sean's got some ready for me. So this is how it's going to go. Obviously, we've got the corner there. We're going to line the bead up with the top corner, along with our pencil line, depending on whether you've got the whole line or just the points. And just double check it lines up with what you have and if you've measured it out right, then it'll be perfect. Right, so I made a video on these. These are what you get in the cafes. There's a link to the video because these are bloody brilliant. So cheap. Best glue dispenser you will buy. Just a single bead all the way down the middle is all I'm going to do. Connect my air gun. Get my bead in place. Careful not to get the glue everywhere. Because there's glue on here, I'm not going to go mad and put 20 pins. I'm going to put 3 on the long, 2 on the short. Now I'm aiming to do one of the returns. A little bit of glue. This is where we can also put a dab of glue on the mitre as well. No harm. Follow your pencil. Make sure you've got a nice mitre. What I like doing is playing with this first before I commit. We can put the long one in position. Make sure the mitres meet up against each other, like so. It's okay. And then if there's any adjustments you need to do to your pencil line, go for that. Mine is a mil below the pencil line, so I go and pin that on a mil below the pencil line there, and this one will fit nicely. So that's one of the panels done. We've got 60 to go. I'm not going to show you all of them, but I'm going to just show you what we can do with the mitres to make sure that they are absolutely perfect, just in case you've got any tiny little gaps, okay? This is where the filler compound comes in. Any ready mix filler will do. We use this in a workshop because it comes as a bulk tub. Just simply put a little bit on your finger, okay? You can then just rub it into any of the joints, any of the holes. Use your finger to rub it over any pinholes. Don't be shy. Then you're thinking, well, it's really messy there. But what you don't need to worry about is that, because before it goes off, what 99% of mere mortals do is leave it and sand it right at the end, which is a no-no, especially if it's 2-pack. Get yourself a brush, rub it in circular motions, and that will take the excess off, leave the filler in the gaps and the holes, and you have got a nice filled mitre ready for painting. Before we call that job done, imagine we've done the whole door, what we have got here is the air duster. This thing is proper amazing. I've been testing it for the past few days. It's called Wolfbox, and they come with placeable batteries. The batteries come out of the bottom, like so. They come out of the bottom by pressing that button, clip in. So it's good to have a spare just in case you're doing a whole load of work. 3 settings. You've got speed 3, speed 2, speed 1. Bring that over. And then I'm just going to blow out all the filler dust. Hardly any, but at least it's ready for the painter now. There it is. This filler version is the Mega Flow 200. Comes with extra nozzles, all different shapes. I just twist and click on, like this one, because it's quite pointy and quite concentrated. Comes with 3 extras, so you've got 4 in total. That is the button to turn it on and off. Look how much power it's got. And yeah, they are fantastic, and it can be charged or replaced with another battery if you're desperate. Comes in a nice box for safekeeping. These all slot together and just get packed away nicely, like so. And we store it like that for a rainy day. We are running behind. We had the customer come in. What Sean is doing is just going around with the hole punch just to punch in any pins that didn't want to go in properly, and he's going over with a bit of filler, and that is it. Just dusting it off with the brush as we did earlier. But it's looking nice, looking sweet, and when they're painted they'll look lovely. These beads, we haven't found really a single knot. They're really, really nice quality. I'll leave a link in the description for you guys for everything that we use. From the compressor to the radio, chop saw, saw blades, everything, beads, air blower, and everything else. Anyway, there we go, montage at the end. So there we go, guys. That is everything that you're going to need to decorate your horrible flat doors and turn them into something really nice. I haven't got time to do an outro right at the end because we've got to just crack on now. I've been filming for a while. I'm going to leave pictures right at the end. So if you want to see these doors finished, then, whoa, that one pinged off. Then stay right until the end. There's going to be a photo montage for you. But other than that, guys, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you do things any different. Tell me how you get your beads on. Do you mark them any differently? Do you cut them any differently? Interesting to know. Cheers, guys. Have a great Friday. I will see you next Friday. Take it easy. Ciao for now.